Good evening and welcome to our second virtual annual gathering for Berkeley Community Scholars. I'm Dan Ashley from ABC 7 News, and I'm really honored to join you again to celebrate and provide funds for these great programs. As we continue to navigate through all of the challenges of this pandemic, you remind us how truly blessed we are to live in a community with so many shared values. And tonight, as we celebrate our scholars, we will ask you to share some of your treasure with us. Every dollar we raise enables us to serve our Berkeley High School graduates' journey through college. And we encourage you to make a donation by visiting the website shown on your screen. If Only We Dare was inspired by words from Amanda Gorman, who, remember, shared her poem, The Hill We Climb, earlier this year at the presidential inauguration. It was so magnificent. She illuminated what so many of us have been feeling for the past decade and called on all of us to embrace our young adults as they stretch and strive to reach their full potential. Tonight, we will honor and learn about our scholars who bring joy, shine a light, and give us hope as they climb the hill to adulthood. And now please welcome our Executive Director, Sherry Smith.
Thank you, Dan, for once again being here for us as we recognize our scholars and share our story with the community. It's a tremendous honor for me to lead the organization alongside our staff, our board members, our volunteers, and of course, our amazing scholars. To paraphrase Amanda Gorman, we too are striving to forge our community with purpose. We truly want to live in a place that is committed to all cultures, colors, characters, conditions of humankind. To put our future first, we must put our differences aside and keep our eyes on that prize each and every day. Tonight, we bring you the voices and stories of a few of our scholars who are still on their college journey. Our three-tiered approach has allowed us to serve our scholars with an academic advisor, a volunteer community member, and a scholarship. This year, we're excited to introduce a fourth tier to our program, career readiness. While our scholars earn a degree at 6 times the rate of their national peers, we have seen that a career divide can occur if they are not prepared to go into the workforce. Tonight, we have the pleasure of being joined by Adam Copeland, a radio announcer at KNBR. Adam grew up in the Bay Area, overcoming some of the challenges our scholars face. He's eager to join our community and encourage all of our rising scholars. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sherry, and good evening, everyone. I'm Adam Copeland from KNBR, and I'm excited to be a part of this virtual gathering for BCS tonight. I learned about BCS when one of their mentors, who's a big sports fan, reached out to me to see if I would like to interview some of the scholars, and it took me about 5 minutes to say, yeah. I was a community college student here in the Bay Area, and BCS was everything I wished I'd had during those days. Not just the financial support, but folks to help me navigate all the anxieties and uncertainties of college. In meeting these scholars, I was astonished at all they'd accomplished, the poise and confidence they exuded. There is no doubt in my mind that BCS's tiered approach is the answer to making a difference for success in our next generation of scholars. I hope you enjoy meeting these scholars as much as I did.
If it wasn't for BCS, I don't know where I'd be because they gave me the community that I couldn't find for myself.
When did you decide college was a reality, and when did you decide that's something you really wanted to be a part of your future?
I think by the time I was in high school, I had like my counselor being like, okay, Emma, like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, the district doesn't think that like you're cut out to like finish high school. At one point, I was like labeled at risk from like the Berkeley Unified School District. And I was like, what? Like high school? Like I can finish high school? Like what do you mean? So I really had to change like everything, like the way I was doing school, the way I wasn't going to school. Like I showed up and like did all the work. And by junior year, I had like a 4.0.
You know, as a single mom, I would work every day restaurants. So, you know, they have really bad schedule. So I will go and get like a 3 a.m. shifts in the morning. So I gotta leave like 2 o'clock from my house. You gotta pick either be with your kids in the morning or with them in the afternoon. So I will decide, you know, and see they can handle it, they can go to school by themselves. I can go and pick them up, you know, and take care of them the rest of the day. It was really hard times, but you know, at the end, it's worth it. All you do is worth it for your kids.
So in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna go to community college. And I had a lot of people telling me that was not a good idea, that I was just gonna get sidetracked and like not even end up going to like a four-year institution.
It's funny, I went to community college and that was before you, and people told me the exact same stuff, but it's about being determined.
BCS has a community college program that I could apply to, and I did, and I ended up getting that. So that was really awesome because I got to meet a lot of kids who were doing the same thing as me, going to community college in hopes of like transferring to a four-year. So I think that was one way that I felt really supported by them. It's just every kid that was there, I think we were all there for the same reason and we all had the same goals at the end, and part of it was to build a community, so that was cool.
When in community college, you don't have a math teacher who's looking over your shoulder. It's like, do the work or don't.
Yeah.
It's up to you. So what were some of the other challenges in your life you think that Berkeley Community Scholars played a role in helping you overcome in getting to where you are now?
I actually had a partner who passed away in my last semester of community college, and BCS really helped me through just staying afloat, honestly, because there was a lot of times where I just like wanted to give up and I couldn't really talk to anyone, but having the BCS like supporting me and letting me know that no matter what I choose to do in regards to what's going on in my personal life, like they're there. They taught me that I can ask for help without it being shameful. I didn't really think I was going to get into Cal because it is really hard to get in and it was intimidating, and I was just like, you have two kids going to Cal, Mom.
What's your major now?
Global studies.
And what do you want to do with global studies?
I kind of want to be a historian. I learned a lot about reframing and how important it is for people of color to talk about their history.
They are the first generation of my family. They're going to college, and I hope, the next generation of kids that are coming of my family, they'll follow their steps, Every morning when I get up, say like, this is real? Are these kids going to use Berkeley? Yeah, they're going. Yeah, okay. It's a dream come true.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All of us at Berkeley Community Scholars look forward to the time when we can gather in person once again. In the meantime, we have Bear and Berkeley Lab to thank for making this remote event possible. BCS has an incredible team dedicated to our mission, empowering Berkeley youth who are living in the lowest economic quartile, our first-generation college students, and from populations who are underrepresented on college campuses with the means to succeed in earning a bachelor's degree. 90% of our scholars graduate within 6 years. Equity has been at the center of our work since BCS was founded almost 30 years ago. But this past year, as we saw disparities and systemic injustices increase nationwide, our board decided to examine how we operate in the world to improve and strengthen our anti-racist work here at BCS. This work helped us gain a deeper understanding of our personal and professional behaviors, biases, and beliefs. It's not easy, and it often sparks challenging feelings and conversations, but that's the nature of this work, and we're committed to it. We'd like you to join us in narrowing the inequities within our community. Your donations help us serve talented, hardworking, and courageous students who want to make positive contributions to the world. A $20,000 donation would support a scholar all the way through college. A $10,000 donation would support a scholar who starts at community college and then transfers to a bachelor's degree granting school. Your contribution helps us close the opportunity gap for truly deserving Berkeley youth. And now I'm excited to have you meet a few alumni of our program who will share what BCS has meant to them.
We haven't seen each other in
like 2 years.
2 years?
3 years. Yeah.
At least.
When I first started college, it was really hard for me because I'm the first one in the family to go there. Even from high school, I'm the first one from graduating from high school. At first, I was really scared to ask for help because, in my culture, it sounds like a little bit weakness, But reaching out to anyone in BCA was really helpful, even other scholars.
I just remember arriving on campus completely overwhelmed. But I think what struck me the most was actually everyone that I was meeting and realizing I was the first in my family to go to college out of everyone that I was meeting. But I remember, just being able to turn to BCS and always getting the support that I needed.
I remember my second semester not really understanding how units worked, and so I accidentally enrolled in 2 upper division courses and 1 lower division course, and having that resource there to be reassuring, and also just someone there to be like, this is how this works, you don't need to freak out, you can strategically work around this, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, for me, it was my third year, I just found out that my grandmother passed away. It was really hard for me just getting the mentality to be in school and studying and be ready for, homework, midterms. Even though my grandma passed away, she really cared about my education. And just having BCF and helping my family, hearing back from Lynn, just to see if I was okay. And she became like a second mother, to be honest.
Yeah, Lynn is definitely the BCS mom, whether she likes it or not.
After I graduated, right when COVID hit, everything was just closed down. I started reaching back to Lynn again. They gave me a lot of background on how to make my cover letter better, my resume better. I had to answer most of the questions, And they brought me inside the company. I started helping out BCF every year, helping new scholars coming in.
It was like a second family, basically. This was a second family that I could share my accomplishments with, and also any hardships or struggles that I was facing, and getting that advice that your parents weren't able to provide you to make sure that you could succeed. I felt so obligated to come back and do anything that I could to either help other scholars, other alumni, to make sure that they succeeded like I did, and that's how we started forming the Alumni Council. I created a bunch of workshops to help scholars build their resumes, write cover letters, practice interviewing. So now we're trying really hard to do career planning with them and to make sure that they're prepared after graduation to start a career.
Without BCF, I feel like I would be in somewhere else right now.
Thank you, alums. It's amazing to hear about what you've done since graduating and how the BCS community still has a powerful presence in your life. Your stories are a testament to the partnership that ensures whatever needs our scholars have, we work together to conquer the obstacles so they stay on the path towards earning a degree. From advising them on their educational plan, financial plan, or career readiness, to practicing for an interview, deciding on a major, or figuring out how to get home for break. From writing a resume to finding an internship or a travel abroad opportunity, our mentors and board are there for our scholars. A $5,000 donation could support one student for 1 year in a bachelor's degree institution like San Francisco State or UC Santa Cruz, UCLA or USC, UC Berkeley, or Howard University. A $1,500 donation could support one scholarship for a student who begins their journey in community college. Together, we can be on the BCS team to walk alongside our future college graduates. I'm pleased now to introduce you to another current BCS scholar I had the pleasure of getting to know. Where do you go to school now?
UC Merced. I'm a chemistry major with a chemistry emphasis with hopes of becoming a pharmacist. I like science and I like helping people, and I'm like, what better thing than to being something in the medical field?
When did BCS become a part of your life, and when did they start to play a role in your journey?
I met Lynn and Helen, and everything's been up since then. All of the mentors introduced themselves, and they were like, oh, write down some people you liked, and it was something about her that stood out, she balances me out. Hey, Helen.
Hey, Chacha.
I am taking a mechanical engineering class. It's part of my upper division for chemistry.
Who of the professors you had, you currently have, would also be good to write that recommendation.
Okay, yeah, I'll check in with her. When COVID first started, when everyone was first starting to move back, I was getting ready to go home to take a final. But then I got into an accident. Someone basically just hit me, smacked me. I woke up, I was like, what happened? My car, it looked a mess. So I'm like, I'm gonna just close my eyes. Maybe I'm dreaming. Somebody was talking, I'm like, yeah, just call my mom. Just call my mom.
I got a phone call. Do you have a daughter named Taisha? And I was like, oh, shucks. Yeah, and then he told me that she was in a bad accident.
So I rushed, and I was the first one on the scene. I begged. I was like, please let me see my daughter. And I walked in there, and she was aware. She was like, I had my Bible in my car, and she was like, I'm okay.
I knew I wanted to graduate and I still had to do it. Like I didn't come this far for no reason just to give up. BCS was really helpful. They supported me, just like, do you need anything? It was super nice to like know outside of my family that someone else was looking in on me. They've given me extra funding to help me complete my schooling, which I really appreciated. It brought us closer though. We could look back on it and like, I'm glad we was able to overcome that. Now I'm gonna graduate and that's gonna be something to celebrate.
I always tell you, have some fun too, Tyja. That's important.
I know, I've been trying. But you know, a lot of stuff is opening back up.
What's the next step for you? What are your next goals for your career?
I want to apply to 4 pharmacy schools in particular, and hopefully one day come back and become someone's mentor at BCS. I'm glad I'm almost done now that like I see senior on my transcript. It's unreal. Like, thank you, Berkeley Community Fund. Like, I appreciate you guys like so much. Like, whew, that's everybody's degree. We can just hang it up somewhere. Everyone had a hand in it.
There is nothing more poignant for me than to watch confident young adults begin a new chapter. A chapter that asks them to help all of us work towards a more equitable, caring, and productive community. So take a moment to think about how you can help. Do you want to donate funds? Serve as a mentor? Participate in a workshop? Or allow a scholar to shadow you at work? We'll help you choose one or more of those in ways that you can help us. And for those of you who are wondering, what happened to the Wheeler Award? Have no fear. It'll be back next year. Now let's celebrate our most recent college graduates. They worked hard and persevered to join their fellow BCS alumni. We are full of pride and joy for them and their families as they reached this incredible milestone.
I'm going to be working in structural engineering. I'd like to get involved in all aspects of building buildings, and I'd like to continue being a musician as well.
Next up is getting some work experience, working in the legal fields, particularly in casework and entry-level law positions. My ultimate career aspiration is to become a public defender and to serve communities around us. For the future, I'm planning to go to grad school, but for right now, I am focusing on job searching, hopefully in the health advocacy field. My aspirations is to help communities of color in solving health disparities.
I want to do work that's involving with like social justice, human rights. That's kind of why I want to go to law school, to have a focus in like civil rights law. I think just my upbringing and being like first generation really kind of pushed me to this career path. BCS really played an important role just in my experience as like a support system, I think having, especially Fatima and Linda, knowing that I have someone in my corner, I think was just really important for me in order to like keep going and like, you know, finish and graduate.
Without BCS, I don't think I could have even probably gone to college. With BCS, it's not just about the monetary value that it can give you, right? Because scholarships are great, but not many places are going to be able to give you a good community that you can relate to, and also mentorship that's with you every step of the way.
I want to go into urban planning or something to do with affordable housing, especially in low-income communities. The College Success Advisors definitely helped me navigate through college, especially Linda. She always reached out to me to make sure I was okay and to always just check up to see how college was like and if it was treating me well or not.
We often forget what it means to be an 18 or 19-year-old college student and don't have the guidance or preparation that it takes to set goals for the next phase of our lives. By supporting our scholars, you help them tackle obstacles that often feel insurmountable. Your gift of $1,000 would allow a scholar to have the technology they need to be successful in their courses, or the transportation they need to get to and from their campus, or the books and supplies they need to complete a term. Your gift of $500 allows a student to complete a summer class, keeping them on track towards graduation, or trains a new mentor, or funds our quarterly workshop and/or career readiness program. We believe that our community can provide our scholars something that will serve them far beyond their time in college. You are helping give them knowledge and skills that will last them for a lifetime. We truly are fortunate to have these students in our community.
My advice to somebody who's going into college is just trust the process. There's a lot of things that happen, a lot of emotions, a lot of challenges, but I would just say just trust the process and everything will turn out okay.
Talk to people and reach out. Like, don't be shy in college. It's hard, but you know, even meeting people inside your own study habits, it's gonna help you out to success and make connections that's going to help you later in the future.
College is a really unique time where you get to explore your interests and try different things, and if you don't have it all figured out, that's actually expected of you. And so to lighten up on yourself and not put too much pressure on yourself.
Don't feel like you're stuck in one major. Feel free to explore because you never know what other fields you'd be interested in.
Just be committed and be focused, and just understand that it's not high school. You're not going to get by with just just listening to lectures and not worrying about the class later. You're going to have to take notes. You're going to have to take the time after the class to truly understand it. And if you don't understand it, office hours are always there.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, even if you think it's like the smallest, like what's fast foot. It's okay, just ask the question. BCS, the staff, they genuinely care about you and they genuinely want to see you succeed.
We're here to support you, and don't be afraid to reach out. Network with people.
My #1 motto is if you can, you must. And that motto for me is such a guiding principle of how to overcome hardship. Just understanding that you have it within you. It may seem challenging, but when you get to the other side of it, you're going to look back and think, wow, I did that.
I certainly hope that you're able to appreciate this great organization, what it does and why it matters. We stand proudly with a community that supports the messages that were so eloquently delivered by Amanda Gorman. She says that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious. We understand that until our most marginalized citizens are recognized and have the opportunities that allow all of us to have a chance to be our best selves, none of us can truly reach our full potential. So, as Ms. Gorman left us with this, there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Everyone at BCS is trying to be brave enough to make a pathway for our scholars to be the light that we all need. BCS is a jewel in this community, and we are fortunate that they could create a full wraparound program to provide vision for a new future for everyone. We hope that you will join us and enlarge our circle of influence to make this world a much more vibrant and better place. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, BCS, for supporting me and my dreams, and I hope I made you guys proud.
Thank you, BCS.
Thank you, BCS, for your support.
Thank you, BCS, because without you, I would have never been able to go to college.
Thank you, BCS, for your unending support during these tumultuous times.
Thank you, BCS, for having high hopes in me.
Thank you, BCS, for being the community I needed to support me through college. Thank you so much, BCS. I really appreciate all your help.
Thank you, BCS, for helping me navigate through college.
Thanks, BCS, for helping me discover that I want to become a pharmacist. I wouldn't be getting this degree without you guys.
Thank you, BCS, for always being there since day one.